Liverpool against Manchester United is live on talkSPORT.
Speaking of schoolboys,
Sunday afternoon. Crookie and I will be there for the Sunday session. We start at 1:30. We're there through till 6:30. First of all, before we start getting stuck into this game and suggesting that Liverpool are going to thrash Manchester United, it's going to be a cricket score, etc., etc., should we not take a note from the old firm and not get carried away with form?
No. Not in this situation. Not with the current Man United midfield and the defensive display that they're putting out. And I know, Crookie, you're going to go off on one, so I'll leave it for you. But I just think the way Liverpool are playing, the amount of energy and legs and running power that they have in that team, I just can't see how Man United live with them.
We were talking about this in detail on the Premier League All Access podcast, where you get Scott Minto's view as a left-back of what the hell you do with Mo Salah. That'll be out a little bit later today on the talkSPORT app. But one of the things that I said we were sort of talking about was how you protect that Manchester United goal, because they concede too many goals and they don't score enough goals. The idea of playing three at the back, two in front, and two defensive wing-backs should give you a degree of protection, shouldn't it? But it doesn't seem to. They seem to concede far too many goals from set pieces, and they seem to be too easy to play against.
Well, it depends who the two in midfield are. He can't possibly go into this game with Casemiro and Eriksen again. Obviously, Ugarte is back from suspension. You've got Kobbie Mainoo, who I'd expect to start, having made a real impact off the bench on Monday night, albeit it's easy to come on when you're 2-0 down and make a name for yourself. Bruno Fernandes is obviously back, so it's going to be a stronger United side. But the most worrying statistic for me, and I didn't realise this until a friend pointed out yesterday, United haven't scored a goal at Anfield since Jesse Lingard in 2018.
Yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah. 7 years ago.
That can't be true.
7 years ago.
Yeah. Well, 6 years ago, really.
Well, yeah. But
only one goal they've scored there since 2016.
So it's not been a happy hunting ground. They ground out a 0-0 last season under Erik ten Hag.
If you get a 0-0 on Sunday, you'd be delighted, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I just don't see it. I think this Liverpool team are ruthless. We saw that against West Ham. They will exploit the weaknesses that United have. If they score in the first half, I think it could get very messy very quickly.
They've scored twice or more in their last 11 games. When you factor that in, just the top-level statistics, forget all the metrics, all the expected goals, all of the sprints and passes per defensive action. You can go into all of those if you want, and you'll still see Liverpool massive favourites. But just the fact that they've scored 2 goals in each of the last 11 games at Anfield, where they're unbeaten, I think tells you that Manchester United are going to find it incredibly difficult to compete with them, because United have scored 8 goals away from home in the Premier League this season. 8!
But I've been there maybe 4 times this year at Anfield, and I've saw many different teams try many different styles to beat them. Bournemouth were very combative and getting after them. Didn't work. 3-0 victory to Liverpool. I saw Fulham go there. Tactically were very good. Still lost. I just feel that they drew, with 10 men, and then
Forest were great.
Forest, the only game I didn't do. Benty did that one, and I remember him saying that was more of a Liverpool having an unbelievably bad day. They could have been there all day. I just think the biggest concern, if I was a Man United fan, would be Newcastle tore them a new one. Absolutely, that back line looked all over the place. Then you've got a Liverpool team that continue to spread the goals. We talk about Salah and how well he's doing. He's been excellent. But Diaz is being excellent. Gakpo's excellent. Even getting goals from Sabazlar, midfield, Trent. They've got so many people that can score goals and hurt you. I just think the way that they play is just absolutely wrong for Man United at this current moment in time.
Boys, I've just seen Salah's stats this season in the Premier League: 17 goals, 13 assists in 18 games. That's absurd, isn't it? Yes. However, if you look a bit deeper, it's more staggering, giving every single assist is in open play, and he doesn't take set pieces. Everyone else at the top of that particular stat does. That's Simon in Warrington. Big Kenneth says, morning lads, the Manchester United midfield will be Ugarte, Mainoo and Fernandes. Yep, so it'll be a lot better than it was against Newcastle. It won't be easy for Liverpool, as United will be up for it, but Liverpool will still win, but only 4.
You know that statement. I know it's tongue in cheek, but you know that statement when they say United will be more up for it because it's Liverpool. I worry how this United team get up for it. If you get what I mean, because there's not a starting point now. If I would say to you what's been good so far, you'd struggle to find the starting point.
What with Liverpool?
No, with Man United. Sorry,
Oh, no,
with Man United, there's no starting point. So when people say, "Oh, they'll get up for it because it's a Liverpool game," it's like that's more of an indictment for me than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Liverpool, they've got to play the game and not the occasion because, you know, while Manchester United Liverpool is still massive in terms of rivalry and still got a big global appeal, in the context of the Premier League season, it's Liverpool the leaders against a team languishing in the bottom half of the table.
But
they should be able to swap them aside.
They haven't really got drawn into that this season, though, have they, Liverpool? Whenever they've been
They didn't
into
at
a
Old Trafford, do you
situation-
remember? I mean, they absolutely dominated at Old Trafford.
When they've had these huge games, they've just turned up, done the job, and gone home. The calmness and composure, I think, is slightly different from the Klopp era, where there was a lot of emotion and passion flying around. There's not as much of that, and you might say they might have lost something in that regard, but they're more clinical.
I think I said it on the last show. The scary part for me is having worked it on Boxing Day, I felt, oh my God, there's still more gears these guys could go. It felt like they've only played to the level they've had to play at to get the job done. I still feel like there's more that could come, and that's scary. For the rest of the Premier League, that is scary.
I think one positive for United is obviously they've got a League Cup semi-final to come in the week, so maybe they get to a certain margin of victory and then declare and put their feet up for the rest of the afternoon.
If you're someone trying to deal with Mo Salah, or you are Mo Salah, are you licking your lips going into this game? He scored more goals against Manchester United in his career than he has against any other side.
If they play Martinez and he plays how he did against Newcastle, oh my God, yeah. Because he just seems to run out of the space that he's supposed to be marking. Every time he's meant to be in a slot and just stop a bit of pressure, he goes, "No, Joe, I'll just aimlessly run into midfield and just wonder why everyone keeps getting in behind me." I thought his display against Newcastle was pathetic, to be totally honest with you. So, yeah, I would do. I think he's quicker than Martinez. I think Martinez positionally is quite poor. But Martinez is going to have to be physical and aggressive. And I know you had Scott Minto talking about it, but I think anyone who's played up against Mo Salah has to be showing what Robertson did from Fulham. Really tight, really aggressive, and obviously be a bit lucky on the day.
And Diogo Dalot, if he's playing on that left-hand side, will have to help out as well, won't he? He'll have to try and clog up that channel as much as possible.
Yeah.
A bit like what Lopetegui tried to do when he put in two
Emerson
fullbacks
in front of Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, but
You've got to do it a little bit better.
You do have to do a little bit better, but you also have to give Liverpool something to think about as well. So if you keep just trying to defend, you allow for Trent to come in that space and hit the passes that he does. And I just think you do have to worry about what Liverpool do, but if you can't offer anything going the other way, this machine just got to keep on coming and you're going to be struggling.
How much will Manchester United benefit from the fact, because one of the big complaints from Ruben Amorim is that he hasn't had any time on the training ground, that he's had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a pick of those days to be able to spend on the training ground at Carrington, honing his team for this game?
He will be happier, but you got to remember he's coming off a busy period. So the first couple of days of that will be rest, recuperating, getting everybody back on. So he's probably still only had a short week in terms of what he would want to have got done. I said it to you guys, off air. I think this is a perfect situation for him at the moment. I feel like the way he's been putting Casemiro, Eriksen in there, leaving Mainu on the bench, is kind of looking up at the ownership going,
do you think he's protecting Mainu as well? Because, listen, he's not a stupid man. He's a very astute football manager. We could all see that Eriksen and Casemiro were going to get overrun by Newcastle, so he would have known that as well. Is he actually protecting Mainu from this situation because he does see him as part of the future, whereas Eriksen and Casemiro, clearly he'd be happy to let go?
Yeah, I think he is protecting him, but I think also as well, there's a lot. Mainu's had a lot not given to him, he's earned it obviously, but given to him quickly in terms of played a lot of games, went to the Euros.
And he hasn't been as good this season as he was at the end of last.
But that's to be expected because he's a young player.
But
he's played a lot of football as well.
But I also think he needs to learn the position as well. Graham Souness talks about it quite a lot. He needs to understand what's going on. He doesn't have anyone in there with him at the moment to, hey, you stay here, do this. I think him and Ugarte will be a lot better in terms of physically they can get around. Yeah, of course, over time. But I do also just think when you look at it from a manager's point of view, he has to, and I said this to you as well, I see so many similarities now with this Man United team to the team that Arteta did at Arsenal. I see so many similarities, and he has to try and get 3 or 4 out the building, and if he can get 2 really good ones in, excellent, and then just promote from the youth and just get as many legs in there, because for what he wants to do, you need bodies, and at the moment, they don't have physically fit players to do it.
Okay, we'll ask you in a moment about Trent Alexander-Arnold and the latest with him. Crookie's got a little line for us on that, but also what would Troy do if he was in that situation?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.